G'day Australia, welcome to Narrabri in regional New South Wales. This is a special place on a special weekend. This weekend, lots of footy all around the country. Our focus here is the Santos Festival of Rugby. Narrabri in regional New South Wales is like many country towns when it comes together around big occasions, and this is a very big occasion for what is a self-declared, but I also believe officially judged, sportiest town in all of Australia. There's literally a monument to it just around the park. Where we are right now is the main drag, the main street where the Festival of Rugby is officially beginning. Up and down here, there are so many examples of locals, not just coming to say g'day, but also local businesses and the people who are the reason that we are here. Santos, the company that has invested so heavily in this area when it comes to things like gas that employs so many locals, well, they are the reason that we are here. This is a commercial arrangement, this is a partnership, this is a sponsorship, but it also is an opportunity for us to have a chat to the locals, because not enough people in regional Australia get their chance on telly. As you know, we've been going around the country for many years, and it's such a privilege to be here. It's also an opportunity for us to show you, yes, what the company does, but also to maybe dispel a few myths along the way. We'll also have a chat to the boss of Santos. There has been some big news around them in the past couple of days, but about why they are so committed to regional Australia and why events like this are part of that relationship. And again, what I love about a country town is that it comes together. What I love about this country town on this particular night is that it is coming together to celebrate not just a very significant employer, but also to celebrate itself and a sport that Narrabri's got quite a connection to. Plenty of connections through to the New South Wales Waratahs, the Queensland Reds will be here as well. Plenty of people enjoying themselves. Give us a wave, say hello everyone, you're on the telly. Quick run away in case they get caught. No, but it is also an opportunity, as I said, to have a chat to as many locals as possible. I tell you, whenever you come to a regional centre, whenever you're able to come to the main drag, on particularly, say, the past couple of days when we've been here, this is one of those places where it doesn't matter what shop you go into, be it the Greyhound, be it the Butchers, or you name it, up and down the street. You can sit there and have a good chat to people for a good hour, not just about the events of this weekend, but what is going on in their lives. And just like everyone in regional Australia, this is a place, hello mate, this is a place that has got a big story to tell, but also has got plenty of questions that it wants asked of leaders as well. Regional Australia deserves the exact same comforts, the exact same conditions and the exact same support that everyone does in the cities. Now, again, this is not going to be an overtly political moment. That's normally our traditional show. We try to park the politics, and I'm not even going to do a news editorial because I just wanted to talk about the importance of the regions and do that with us at the start of a big weekend, not just in this town, but of course around the country. Now, Narrabri and the Festival of Rugby is something that they've had a few times. Roma, up in Queensland, in country Queensland, another place where Santos has got great relationships and has got very significant resources. Well, the Festival of Rugby, it alternates between those two locations. In a couple of minutes, I'll take you over to the rugby club and where we spent the time last night with a whole bunch of people who are training for their part of what is their own version of a grand final, their own version of a big moment when it comes to the field. Yes, I even have the chance to muck around with a few kids whose skills are obviously way better than mine could ever be. I also have the opportunity, and again, we'll show you this a little bit later, where you may well have heard a lot about what happens when you get a gas well on a farm. Well, there are plenty of farms that have them and have had them for a long period of time, and it might surprise you what some of those places actually look like. Again, we'll get to all of that in a moment or two's time. But Friday afternoon, it is a time, obviously, for friends and family, but in a regional town, it really is one of the big nights of the week. The opportunity after hard yakka, be it in the fields, be it in the offices, whatever it happens to be, it's an opportunity to get together and make the most of what is a beautiful city. The Traveller pub, which is just down the road, we'll have a look at that a little bit later. That's one of the best I've ever walked into. I didn't think we could do better in terms of a country pub than the ones that we had a look at in Renmark in South Australia. Well, we're hitting a new vibe, the ultimate version of 5 stars. But the Bevies, well, they do make it a little further out from the pub, but as you can see, the whole town out and about now. And these are the great opportunities, aren't they? The opportunities to say good day, the opportunities to meet up, the opportunities to do something a little bit different. And obviously, moments like this only happen because of events like this. Again, because of that relationship that Santos has with its community, and it's a privilege for us to be able to be here and have a look at what that relationship is. Now, the reality also of the gas story, and this is just obvious, right? This doesn't need to be the broadcast. It doesn't have to be the partnership. It doesn't have to be me travelling to Narrabri. But the real issue is that as we make our transitions and governments have made their choices, the reality is nuclear's off the table, coal's slowly being turned down, so gas is going to be what they're going to refer to in many ways as the firming technology, the stuff that's going to guarantee that, well, if there's not enough wind, not enough sun, or even when there is plenty of that and the batteries start to fade, well, it's going to be gas that's going to be keeping things going. Now, the Narrabri gas project is one that is going to really ramp up over the next couple of years, and certainly we know that the New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns, is absolutely aware of the importance of this project, of this city, of this company, and of this community. Because the reality is that while, yes, the early stages are able to power this town and power the regions, eventually the pipelines, and most of those will be a metre underground, those will of course be sending it to Newcastle, and that of course is able to feed its way back into the state grid, and given the idea of the national grid, well obviously that's the way that we're going to power things. Oh, that's awesome. How good's that? Not just a bit of a sword, but you've got a bubble machine off the end of it. I have to find out where I get one of those. My little girls will be watching and they'll say, Dad, can you bring home the unicorn with the very fancy horn? I love that. That's cool. Make sure that, I won't take it off that young lady, don't worry, but we'll find one. There'll be plenty that will be able to go around and have a look. But you look, that is in part the reality of the story of gas. The conversation, and one that I'm going to have a chat to with the boss of Santos and some other people down the track too, is about making sure that obviously there's enough of it, that we're keeping enough of it, that we're able to make sure that that technology, which is going to be relied upon more and more, is going to be able to do the job into the next few years. But again, this is very much intended to be just a Friday night hangout in regional Australia, or a Friday night hangout in regional New South Wales. Now, on top of the conversations in and around the resources sector here, obviously, sorry as my notes go flying here, a little gust every now and then, wonderful spring weather. Honestly, we've had an absolutely ripping couple of days here, and I don't want to preview too much here, so don't roll any tapes anywhere, but some of the magic light that was around yesterday, now I've been lucky enough to be able to see with my own eyes a sunrise in Darwin, and that's probably my favourite sunset as well, I should say. There is a difference, of course. You should be able to enjoy those. I've seen a sunrise, I've seen a sunset in places like Broome in Western Australia. Well, I'll tell you what, the sunset here yesterday, having a look over the fields and up into the mountains, was something that was just perfect, and particularly perfect when we were having a look at the Festival of Rugby preparations that were happening here yesterday. But again, we're going to have a chat in and around some of the footy. An Olympic gold medalist will be joining us. The women's sevens team is an absolutely cracking example, not just of rugby union, but about Australian athletes at its best. The cheering that you're hearing there is, in fact, the female squad of the Waratahs, just double checking their passing skills and abilities, making sure that the kids can have a go as well. Yeah, I'll give it a crack a little bit later. The Queensland Reds, they are here as well. And of course, a Wallaby legend, a man who has been now explaining the game for almost as long as he was part of it, an absolute legend of you name it, World Cup, Bledisloe Cup, plenty of trophies for Tim Horan, and he'll join us here in just a few moments. All right, so let's get it underway. The next couple of days, it is all about the Festival of Rugby that is going to be playing here in Narrabri. The preparations were spectacular. The kids are pumped up, and even the over 35s are getting a bit of a run this weekend.